I don't know that anyone realizes it. We are no longer in the natural history. We are no longer in the state. Close the door. We are no longer in the state of natural history, where the Jews have to keep the Torah in order to earn Olam Haba. But we are in the state called the Moshe Mashiach, where Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef was the Mashiach. And the Moshe Mashiach, the days of the Mashiach, actually started 2,000 years ago. And what I've been attempting to do is to prove this point by indicating that for the last 2,000 years there have been certain events that have been happening that really only correspond to the Moshe Mashiach. So in actuality, we are in the Moshe Mashiach and so on. But in actuality, so therefore what I'm going to do is I'm going to really discuss this concept of the Moshe Mashiach in terms of perhaps the most important indication that we are in the Moshe Mashiach. Now, one of the things we said was that the Golus of Edom, or the Golus of Rome, is the last real Golus that we are in that really corresponds to the Moshe Mashiach. And that this Golus of Edom, of Rome, really converted into the Golus of Christianity. And that has been with us for 2,000 years, for a long time. And it's in that Golus because Klal Yisrael failed to actualize the Moshe Mashiach. Even though Klal Yisrael had a person, Rabbi Akiva ben Yosef, who was a person of the Mashiach, and I'll explain this in a minute, I'll amplify this in a minute. Klal Yisrael was not zocheh to bring the actual Moshe Mashiach, even though they were zocheh to have the Moshe Mashiach in certain ways, because of their sinas chinam, because of the way they relate to each other. And they had, in this particular period, they were supposed to be, Klal Yisrael was supposed to be two things, and I spoke about this a number of times. Klal Yisrael is supposed to be an Am Skula, where the Jewish people are supposed to be a certain special people that reflect the Kedusha of the Torah and the introduction to the Moshe Mashiach. But the second thing they're supposed to be, the Jews, they're supposed to be a Mamlechas Kohanim, a kingdom of priests, because they have to represent the Moshe Mashiach to the entire world and bring the knowledge of God to the entire world. That means to not only themselves but to the Goyim as well. In that vein, they are called the Mamlechas Kohanim. But Klal Yisrael failed to do this. They failed to serve as an example for the entire world of being the Moshe Mashiach. They failed to be a Mamlechas Kohanim because they failed to establish a certain achdus, a certain unity amongst themselves, which they have had to have had. And I really spoke about the lens and so on. So therefore, for the last 2,000 years, we've been in an exile of Christianity after the exile of Rome. And the exile of Christianity has taken over the rule of the Roman Empire and converted into that state of affairs. So because of this, for the last 2,000 years, we've been oppressed by the Christian kingdom and all those other kingdoms, besides the Muslims, and especially the Arab and so on, which I will talk about another time. But in essence, when you look at human history, since the case of other nations, what is the main theme that must occur? we see history in terms of what? What we see history is the parameter of what? Of the parameter of the Golan. Klal Yisrael in all its history has gone through 4 major exiles or Goluses, and this has characterized their history. But is this the main event that's supposed to happen in Klal Yisrael in human history? Since the case of Adam Rishon, what has been the main task of Klal Yisrael? And the answer is the main task of Klal Yisrael was to bring the Yemot Mashiach, and thereby do what? What is the whole function and purpose of the Yemot Mashiach? In essence, does anyone know? Can anyone tell me what the main purpose of the Yemot Mashiach is?
To eliminate the need of halakha.
To do what to the Midas Halakha?
To eliminate it. And it's eventually made a defect at the end.
Okay, right. Fundamentally, the main thing that Klal Yisrael was supposed to accomplish since the Chet of Adam Rishon is what's called the Tahara of Zoyamah. Since the